That's right, Marceline, Missouri, original Main Street, USA.
Well, good day, my friends. It's your old pal, Jordan the Lion. How are you all doing today? I hope you said great. If you saw the last vlog, we're in Marceline, Missouri, the childhood hometown of Walt Disney. And this was what he based the Main Street, USA and the Disney parks on. This were some of his fondest childhood memories and where he credits discovering his imagination. So we're going to go see the town today. Daze with Jordan the Lion and you all. It begins right now. Here we are just off of Main Street, and it's a beautiful mural of or to Main Street, USA. It says, to tell the truth, more things of importance happened to me in Marceline that have happened to me since or are likely to in the future. Walt Disney. Kind of a more modern day Main Street, USA than what Walt would have known. I'm not sure that he would have ever saw Casey's General Store. But time marches on. It's great to see that he's remembered here. Now, I kind of thought about how to vlog this town. I could have done it all as one thing, but I just thought Main Street, USA being such a thing all itself, I wanted to kind of showcase it today. Right here we kind of get a taste of the town. It's got that old shop feel like we know from Main Street. We've got a toy store right here, our insurance man right here, and our VFW over there. But some of our coolest history is right over here at the Uptown Theater. Looking around town, there are little designated parks like this where they've painted some of the things like old Lego blocks, and they've made photo opportunities around town. I think Walt would have loved what it is now. As we walk around the corner from the Uptown Theater, look down here. Not Walt's original inspiration. It was a rabbit, but he would be known for the mouse. Now check this out. Many of the historical buildings around town that are connected to Disney in any way will have a historical plaque. So it'll kind of tell you what you're looking at. This is the Uptown Theater. And the beauty in this place, I love the old look of it. And it's old for a reason. You'll notice right here they have some Mickey signs, Walt Disney, and then the welcome to Marceline. And it tells you the story here. It says Uptown Theater. Opened June 30th, 1930. In 1956, Walt and Roy Disney held the Midwest premiere of their feature film, The Great Locomotive Chase, in this theater. They personally greeted each child at the door. Walt and Roy took to the stage before the movie started, and the children of Marceline sang the Mickey Mouse song. Because the Disney program was not broadcast in Marceline, that would have been new for Walt's day. So since the program was not broadcast in Marceline, the children learned this song especially for the occasion. The movie ran from 1:30 in the afternoon until 1:30 a.m. the next morning, so everyone who wanted to could see the movie. In 1998, the Walt Disney Company held another premiere, The Spirit of Mickey, at this theater. 18,000 enthusiastic Disney fans came to Marceline for the premiere. A special appearance of Mickey, Minnie, and their friends was enjoyed by all. So here's the welcome back celebration. Here's the movie poster that they were showing, and then them introducing the movie on stage. And look at this. Those are the doors that lucky fans that day would have got to meet Roy and Walt. They've got some of their most memorable characters painted on the door. You can see there's an old Mickey sign inside, some sort. Then over here we have, who is that, Goofy? Goofy working the booth. And down here they mention the premiere Now this is kind of cool also. On the other side of the entrance doors, there's actually a theater hotel Airbnb. So I did spend the night in town here, but not up there. But that would be quite an experience to get to stay above the theater where Walt and Roy held their premiere. One of the things I admire most about Walt is that, much like Henry Ford, he had failures, and failures in his field, and yet continued to try until he was successful. That's amazing. Now I'll just give you a walking feel of the town. Obviously, these are not the businesses Walt would have known in the early 1900s when his family moved here. 1908, Walt would not have seen many of the businesses, obviously, but the buildings, possibly. Here's the City Hall of Marceline, and I noticed that our toy store that we already saw was the old bank. So there is some history to this. It says Main Street, USA, which is this street right here. Walt Disney's hometown of Marceline, Missouri, today as much as it was when he lived here. The first plans of Disneyland show a remarkable resemblance to the town, with its storefronts on Main Street and locomotives coming and going. All who enter Disneyland travel down the main street Walt created from his memories of his childhood in Marceline. He hoped it would give all visitors the impression and sensations he had in Marceline as a boy. Walt wanted people to feel comfortable. He wanted them to feel like they were coming home. Welcome to the original Main Street, USA. And I grew up in a town very similar to this, so I totally get it, wanting to give people that feel. Many of the buildings here in town or the businesses have either themed themselves something Disney, as you can imagine, for tourism, like this, the original Main Street, USA, this giant display in the window, or they've used the Disney style fonts for their business. Here's a cafe called Ma Vic's Corner Cafe, and it's all that Disney font. Let's go look at this park over here. Oh, very cool. So the Ma Vic that we just looked at, that actually has a historical significance because this was the confectionery here in town. And it said, at this site in the Allen Hotel block, built in 1905, was a favorite stop for Marcelinians with a sweet tooth. When designing downtown Disney, which is adjacent to Disneyland, the Disney company included Marceline's confectionery in the themed area. Downtown Disney opened in 2001. Wow, so the building that once, or the business that once stood here was the inspiration. That's one of the most fun things about going to the park is all the great confectionery items you can buy. Over here's the Marceline post office. I'm gonna send a couple of postcards out from this post office and see if they do any kind of kooky stamp or anything like that on it from the town. As I'm coming over to mail my stamp, look at what they put right here. Commemorative stamp honoring Walt Disney was issued from this post office September 11th, 1968. After Walt Disney's death, December of '66, the citizens of Marceline lobbied the United States Postal Department to issue commemorative stamp in his honor. Postal Department agreed. After the issuance of the stamp was announced, Burbank, California, Kansas City, Missouri, Anaheim, and Chicago, along with Marceline, vied to become the location of the first day issuance. Marceline was chosen to be the location for the ceremonies. Yes. Look at that. And they have photos from the ceremony and everything all over the post office, as well as the stamp. Now, if you come over to the park, they have a few locomotives on display that have been retired. And this one actually says Santa Fe and Disneyland Railroad. That's very cool. Looks like they have the story of it too. We'll check it out. It just really has the statistics of the actual locomotive itself. It doesn't say why it's here particularly. They have a few. That's one of the highlights to going to Disney as well, is just riding the old locomotives. Another Santa Fe Railroad. Kind of surprised they don't have any statue to Walt. Although this says Midget Autopia over there, and of course that's a Disney thing, so let's go over the bridge and check it out. They do have a little mini course over here. I wonder if it's for people on bicycles or if they actually have a little car that they occasionally have out here so people can enjoy the experience. And if they do, you'd think it'd be in that yellow shed. Let's see what this says. Relocated from the Magic Kingdom Disneyland as a gift to the children of the community from Marceline's favorite sons, Walt and Roy Disney. That is awesome. There's Walt's train. So I just asked somebody and they said yes, there are actually 2 cars in here, and this wasn't originally here. They brought the midget track when it was originally donated. It was over by the city pool and they moved it over here. It was originally just a walking track, but they have a little bit of the history on this sign here, and it says they decided to donate the midget track to Marceline in 1966. And these are in Marceline when it was originally brought here. So this is the original track from Disney. They just moved it all out here. And the guy I talked to said when he was growing up and saw it, he said the intersection out here used to actually have a tunnel, so it's changed a little bit. He said right out here. This is for the Gucker Coal Company, an old coal building from the 40s. And over here is the library, Carnegie Library. We'll go see the rest of Main Street and then we'll check out the museum. This building has nothing to do with Walt, but as I walked past I saw a sign on it. It's been here for quite some time that says this is our happy place. I think that says a lot about the town. Alright, let's check out some of the buildings. They do have a radio station coming up here. But I love it. Look at all the benches out front, just letting you know this is an antique store. It's letting you know you're welcome to sit and relax, feel at home. And their local football. There's a great Coca-Cola mural coming up here too. I want to show you guys. I love it. So I showed you a lot of the other side of the street, so we'll check out this side. That absolutely feels like Main Street, USA, no doubt. Like I said, I grew up in a town like this. People just living their lives. This one's called Pastime. Pastime food. Tell me that doesn't feel like downtown Disney or being in New Orleans Square. Hey, it's got the old Maytag repairman up there. Mr. Carlson from WKRP still up there. Waiting for a call. We're back over to the Uptown Theater where Walt and Roy came back to. And there's a little park over here. Just a nice feel. Wonderful feel to the town. You can really take a load off and just relax. Over here was a hardware store I wanted to check out, and some place with an old Pepsi sign that says Zack's. Walt's Town. It's funny, I ran into a guy that was telling me a couple of things to check out in the museum, and he said, you know, I stopped here because I had a flat tire one day and I never left. Just love all the old buildings and everything over here. And there's little murals, like over here. They've got one with those blocks that we saw. Here's the place I was talking about, Zack's. Doesn't look like anything's going on. And I don't know about you, that looks like almost like a supper club type place to me. But it's for rent. You can hear the trains all day while you're here. So let's go over here and see that mural and the rest of Main Street USA we haven't seen yet. No way of knowing what all was here and how much of it was here without doing a lot of extensive research, but like that sign said, they don't feel too much has changed, and that Walt would like it if he were back here, so I'm going to take their word on that. I love that every building's different though. Look at this. Couldn't be more different. Oh, I love it. Guess who got into the paint? I know I don't show Ja a ton anymore. It's because we do a lot of museums, and so for that hour out of the day that we're in a museum, he stays inside the hotel. But he's actually off with Katie because we're gonna be meeting up with her, and I'm going to a big festival this weekend. I just couldn't take him with me. Paper Station. And that, my friends, is a lot of Main Street USA. Water pump. Now let's go over and check out the Walt Disney Hometown Museum. I don't believe that they are run by Disney, the company, or anything, so I think it's something the town does.